Hi guys, so let's discuss pointers to arrays today. Here are a few things which might help you if you are especially starting off with pointers. So here's a simple array with three elements. Now we know that whenever we write just the name of the array, what does it signify, right? So I want you to differentiate between what does the name ARR signify in line number 9 and line number 10. Right, so in line number 9, it's a block of contiguous memory locations. That's what array is, and together we are referring it as ARR, right? But in line number 10, it becomes, what does it become? So if I print this, I hope all of you know if you have begun studying pointers, when you print this, it gives you a address. Address of what? Address of the first element in the array. So any variable that stores the address of another variable, another data, any data, what is that? That's a pointer. So from a type array, it got converted to a pointer to an integer. Integer, why? Because it's an array of integers. If it happened to be an array of characters, it obviously would become a pointer to a character, because basically this is a pointer to the first element of array, whichever type the array is. So now this is a pointer to a integer, pointer to which integer? To the first element of the array. Now this conversion from an array type, okay, from so ARR, this line actually signified ARR was an array, and this line makes ARR a pointer. This conversion is called decaying, and I hope that you can go over a few stack overflow questions, and we can discuss decaying later also, but it will give you a bit of clarity that why this conversion happens, right? Especially if you're starting out, this can give you a lot of clarity. Okay, anyways, let's continue. So ARR will print the address of the first element of the array. So what will ampersand ARR do? What will ampersand ARR do? Let's figure out. Let's find out. We have some idea that ampersand ARR will also print an address, but what address will it print? Okay, sorry, I think I have not commented out a few code. Yeah, sorry. Okay, let's see. Here. So both ARR and ampersand ARR gave us the same value, the same address. What is this address? Again, this address is the address of the first element in the array. Okay, because of decaying, the first this ARR now is a pointer to the first element of the array. Now, ampersand is also a pointer, definitely, because it stores an address, as we can see, the same address in fact. But is it a pointer to an integer or pointer to the first element? Okay, so it's not actually. We'll prove that it's not. But right now, just remember that ARR is a pointer to the first element, but ampersand ARR is actually pointed to the array, to the entire array, and not to just the first element. Let's prove this now. Let's say that I want to store the address of the array in a variable. So if I want to store the address of the array in a variable, first tell me what kind of variable will that be? Definitely it stores address, it will be a pointer. What kind of pointer will it be? And firstly, what is the address of the array? The address of the array is equivalent to the address of the first element of the array, right? So whenever I say I want to print the address of the array, what I essentially mean is print the address of the first element of the array. So I already have this ARR storing, which has been converted to a pointer, storing the address of the first element. So I can assign int star fp is equal to ARR. Why? Because star fp is an integer to a pointer, ARR is an integer to a pointer. Both of them definitely then can they are compatible. So obviously fp can store the address. Now we would just print what fp is. If I print fp, what would it be? Both ARR, all the three, ARR, ampersand ARR, and fp, all of them would point to the first element of the array. So all of them would have the same answer. Okay, now hopefully you know about dereferencing. What is dereferencing? If I want fp points to 1, points to this first element 1. So if I want to get the value at the first element of the first index, how do I do that? At the 0th index, that is. What do I do that? I would do star fp. So this star FP is different, right? This is when I was assigning. But after that, when I use it to dereference, what value should it print? It should print 1. Okay, so let's test this much. In star FP, pointer to an array, pointer to the, not pointer to an, I'm so sorry, pointer to the first element of the array. So pointer to an integer here. So pointer to an integer. Now if I dereference FP, I would print 1. If I had referenced FP plus 1, I hope you know we would have printed 2, right? So yeah, that's I think pretty easy. Let's print it. So ARR, ampersand ARR, FP all have the same address, and the value that FP is the value stored in the address that FP points to. So what address? What is the value stored in FP? This, the first element of the array. So what is the value of the first element of the array? 1. So that is also getting printed with the help of dereference operator. Till now, I think is the other basics, right? So we have already practiced these things. But tell me something. If I want to, can I replace this ARR with this ampersand ARR? If I want to do that, can I do that? I think yes, because you see, ampersand ARR also gives me the first, also gives me a same value than as ARR does, right? Both of them gives me the same value, and that value is the first element of the array. That's the address of that. So can I write int star sp equals to ampersand ARR? So sp is another pointer to an integer. So like int star fp was pointing to ARR, can I just write int star sp in place of ARR? Now I'm using ampersand ARR. ARR was also this address, and ampersand ARR also is this address. So can I just write that interchangeably? Let's try doing that. And I've already written in this commented this is invalid, but just for the sake of it, let's try and do this. Okay, so I have uncommented one line. Let's see if we run into any errors. We have, right? We have. Now try to read this error. Cannot convert int star 3. What is this? It is a pointer to an integer array. Pointer to an integer array. So we cannot convert pointer to an integer array to a pointer to integer. We cannot convert this to this. That means what? That means what? This, which now, so we have two incompatible types at two sides of the equals operator. So I have written int star sp equal to ampersand ARR. So int star sp is an integer to a is a pointer to an integer. Yes, int star is a pointer to an integer. That means the right hand side that is pointer to the right hand side that is ampersand ARR is actually a pointer, of course, because it was, you saw in the previous a few seconds ago that it was actually printing an address, the same address. It is a pointer, but it's not a pointer to an integer. So while ARR is a pointer to an integer, ampersand ARR is a pointer to the entire array and not just to the integer. So so whatever ampersand ARR returns is the pointer to the entire array. So I cannot store it in a pointer to an integer type. I need to store it in a pointer to a array type, or so pointer to an array type. This is how we declare pointer to an array, and then we store the address that ampersand ARR gives us. So here if I would have just written ARR, again it would have been incompatible. Why? Because ARR, just writing ARR would result in this to be a integer, a pointer to an integer, and this is pointer to an integer array. Okay, that is the reason why this has to be an ampersand and this has to be, both of them have to be compatible. So now if I actually compare these two, if I compare what is an FP and what is an SP, what do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? FP will definitely store the address of it stores the address of the first element in the array, so that will be printed. SP, as we've already seen, it stores the address of the entire array, but still it has the same value. Why does it have the same value? What is the reason behind it? The reason is, guys, the reason for what? Reason for SP and FP having same value but different type. Okay, you have to remember this. So reason is any object, it might be a user defined object as well. Okay, any object The address of the object is essentially the address of the first element in the object. So address of this ARR is address of the first element. Okay, so even though these star FP and star SP3, I mean pointed to an array and pointed to integer, they have different context in what they point to, but both their values resolve to the same value. Now let's try to understand this with a diagram. To understand this with the help of a diagram. It's not a very technically precise diagram, but it will help us to understand things better. So we are aware that okay, both SP and FP stores the same address, uh, or rather the same value, but the address, the context of what they store is very different. So for SP, what is it storing? It's storing the address of the entire array. That means which is A, because the address of the entire array, it is very well aware, it is the address of the first element, so it stores A. For FP, it is storing the address of the first element, so this also stores A. Okay, now our task is print the value in the first element of the first element. So I want to print this one with the help of FP and SP. So let's see how that differs. Okay. So with FP it's very simple. It's pointed to the same address. So I'll just dereference it once and I'll get the value 1. But with the help of SP, it's a little bit weird, I would say. Okay. And there are a number of Stack Overflow questions and answers that I've tried reading, and you can also try it out. I'll paste the links in description. So here I think, yeah, just a second. Yeah, so this is a very good answer. I'll paste this. Okay, um, this and how does dereferencing work for pointer to an array? Okay, so basically what they explain is when I'm talking about dereferencing, please remember the context during definition. So during definition of SP, when I had initialized SP for the first time, what did I mention it was? I said that it was a pointer to an array, right? I said that it was SP. What was SP? Here, SP was a pointer to the entire array. So if I dereference SP, what should I be? What should I get? I should get the array. Again, SP, for me, SP is storing the address of the entire array. This ampersand ARR could be very well replaced by writing SP over here. This is SP. Let's say it's dereferencing SP. So SP is basically the address of the entire array. And I'm dereferencing that. What should I get back? What should I get back? I should get back the array. I should get back the array. Now, it's not over yet. We're also writing cout before that. Now, I was confused in here is, okay, firstly I was confused. What does this ARR signify? See, I told you in the start of the lecture that whenever we had written ARR in a standalone fashion, that meant that ARR was a pointer to the first element. It got decayed from being an array to being a pointer to the first element, right? But please remember, whenever I use the ARR with the ampersand operator or with the size of operator, then it does not lose its context. So here this ARR means that it is actually the entire array and not a pointer to the first element. Okay, so this is the entire array and we are using the address of operator, and then we are using dereferencing. That means this will give us the entire array. But still, when you print this out, what you will get is you will get the address A. That got me really confused. I'll repeat myself. See, what did I just tell you? That okay, ampersand ARR is nothing but the address of the entire array, which is A. I am well aware of it. So dereferencing that should give me 1, but it does not give me 1. It prints this address. It prints A. This would actually print the value A. Prints the value A. Let's go ahead and see that this happens. We've just seen this, right? So cout FP SP we have seen. Let us go ahead and print cout. Let's say star FP equals to, what is that? And cout, let's say star sp equals cool. Here star fp is 1, but star sp dereferencing sp gave me back the same address. That is the address, the first element. And that's very strange, right? Because sp was already pointing to the, already had returned that, okay, sp stores this address. And then when I dereferenced sp, it is giving me back the same address. It should have given me the value stored at this address. That means sp should have given me 1 like fp did. But it does not. Why is it not coming back? It's not because, and this is really strange. So just remember this. You can probably search, with this query, that both are pointed to an array with the address it stores, and what we get on dereferencing that is the same. Why is it? Why is it? Okay, that is because you have to always remember the context during dereferencing. I'm repeating myself because this got me really confused as well. Okay, so ampersand ARR or SP for that matter. So let me not confuse ourselves any further, and just let me just write down that this is SP actually. Okay, we could have also written ampersand ARR, right? So SP. So this SP is what? This SP is a pointer to the array. When I dereference that, what I get is the entire array. Please remember, this is not a pointer to the, I know I've told you that whenever this is actually array, okay, this is not a pointer to the first element, please remember. Okay, what I get back is the entire array. But still, so when I'm trying, and then I'm couting that entire array. So what do you think, when I try to cout the entire array versus when I want to cout the pointer to the first element, what is the difference? I'll repeat my question. I am saying that, okay, here I want to cout the entire array because dereferencing SP gives me the entire array, and I am trying to print that entire array. You will see that cout, the internal implementation of cout is such that it can only accept pointers. It can only, there are a couple of overloads, but but there's no overload where it can take the entire array and print it in some way. No. So for cout, it has no meaning. So for cout, the array that I feed to cout, so when I dereference SP, I get an array. Then I feed that array to cout. Then please print this array for me. But cout has got no understanding of what this array is. So what is this array? How do I print an array? So that there the decaying happens, and decaying happens such that, okay, so if cout gets an array, what it prints is the pointer to the first element of the array. And therefore, on dereferencing SP, we again end up printing A, end up printing the address A. Are you understanding? So star SP and star FP are very different. Star FP is obviously go to this address, fetch this value. But when I say star SP, SP is okay. SP is like, okay, go to this address, the address that is based, I don't go to the address. SP is like, okay, what should I give it back? I am pointing to an array. I am pointing to the entire object. I'm dereferencing that. Then I should give back that object. I should give back the array. Okay, cool, right? Okay. Now the array that I give back, I'm trying to print that array. But cout has no meaning of printing the entire array. So what it does, it is, okay, decaying has to happen. So what you get back is a pointer. So whatever discrepancy we see is because of cout. It's not because of the dereferencing. The dereferencing will actually give you a different value. Not a value, a different context. So SP was holding the address of the entire array. Dereferencing it is actually giving you just the array. But because cout has no does not know how to print the entire array, it is decaying to the pointer to the first element. Clear? Okay. So now we know, okay, no matter what I do, whenever I dereference my pointer to an array, I will finally it will resolve to the pointer to the first element. So let me dereference it twice. So if I dereference it twice, I would get to 1. Okay, guys, I hope that I know this is a bit confusing and can take you some time, but you can go. I link all the resources that I found useful. I'm sure you'll be able to resolve your doubts in maximum a day. That's how much longer it took me. I'm sure you can do it much faster. Okay, so now that we know how to print the addresses, the values, let us try and do that. Okay, so now the answer for the task. If I say star FP. I already got one for FP, so let's do star star SP equals, just verifying what we just studied, and we get the answer. Okay, guys, thank you, and let me know if you have any doubts in the comments.